husband laughed at me during my assault testimony. The male detective humiliated him for it, then I put the nail in his coffin. I was at the police station giving my statement about being assaulted by my boss when my husband started chuckling at something on his phone. Detective Dudasik, who looked like he ate concrete for breakfast, stopped mid-sentence and stared at my husband like he already wanted to say something. Can you describe what happened next? Dudasik continued gently. He cornered me in the supply room. My voice cracked. Here we go, Francis muttered under his breath, not even looking up from his phone. Dudasik's jaw now tightened. Sir, your wife is describing her sexual assault. I'd advise you to show some respect. Francis looked up. I am showing respect. She's just a bit dramatic though, isn't she? It's just some guy getting handsy. Francis shifted in his chair. How long is this going to take? My game starts at 8. I continued through tears. He pushed me against the wall, tore my blouse. Francis actually laughed at something on his screen, out loud. He said my husband told him I was uptight. I whispered that I just needed loosening up. That finally made Francis look up, but only to roll his eyes. Should have just reported to HR instead of making a federal case out of it. Detective Dudasik stood up slowly. Sir, I don't want to lose my job, so I'm going to need you to step outside. Why? I'm supporting her. She wants me here, don't you? He turned to me. I felt trapped by that question, but before I could answer it, Dudasik jumped in. Listen here. Laughing while your wife describes her trauma is special ed behavior. His voice was controlled but furious. I've worked here for 9 years. I've been a prison guard for 5. I've never seen someone not care about their spouse's trauma. I've dealt with bottom-of-the-barrel scum, and they seem like better men than you. Francis's face went beet red. Excuse me? Real men protect their partners, and I'm no doctor, but I suggest you get a physical. Maybe a specialist will tell you why you come off as a flip-flop more than a man. Francis was furious now. Oh, so you're trying to white knight my wife now? Francis stood up, chest puffed out. Trying to mock me in front of her play hero? Dudasik stayed calm. I'm trying to take a statement about a serious crime while you're treating it like a comedy show. Now sit down and show this woman some respect, because if you keep acting like a jackass, she'll find someone who will. I could tell that stung Francis, so much so that suddenly Francis was the perfect husband, grabbing my hand too tight, declaring he'd kill the guy, demanding to know every detail after ignoring me for 6 weeks since it happened. He started taking photos of my bruises, even though the forensics team had already documented everything. What's the assailant's name? Detective Dudasik asked. Richard Adamus, I said clearly. Francis's face drained of color. Richard? No, you must be confused. Richard Adamus, I repeated, turning to Francis. Your best friend from Cornell, your groomsman, the one you golf with every Sunday. Richie would never, the one you got me the job with as a favor. My voice was getting stronger, while Francis's mouth opened and closed like it was on a loop. That's when I turned to Francis and dropped the bomb. While your friend was assaulting me, he whispered in my ear that you complained about our intimacy life to him, that you told him I needed someone to break me in. Detective Dudasik had been typing on his computer. Sir, I'm pulling up some text messages here that were already submitted anonymously as evidence. Would you like to explain this exchange? He turned his screen toward us. My stomach dropped reading Francis's text to Richard from 2 days before the assault. Richard, your wife's hot. Bet she's wild when drunk. Francis, haha, she's too uptight. Needs someone to break her in. Richard, maybe I'll help with that. Francis, good luck, bro. She's all work, no play. These are from Tuesday, Dudasik said. The assault happened Thursday. I stared at Francis. You knew when I came home crying, when I showed you my torn clothes, when I begged you to come with me to the police. I thought you were exaggerating. Rich is a good guy. He wouldn't. I had bruises, torn clothing. I was bleeding. Rich gets carried away sometimes when he drinks, but you're still defending him? I pulled out Francis's phone from his pocket. His recent calls showed 3 to Richard just this morning. You called him 3 times today, after you knew we were coming here. Francis grabbed for his phone. That's not, I was just warning him, Detective Dudasik asked. That's witness tampering. That's a felony. Francis's face went white. I want a lawyer. You're going to need one, Dudasik said. Sit tight. We'll be charging you as an accessory. And sir, we picked Richard up an hour ago. He really wants to talk to you. We usually don't allow this, but we can make an exception. My husband's face went white, and when we walked out, we locked eyes with Richard being brought in. He smiled at Francis, then glanced at me, as if he had something planned. Full story on channel link below.